Let's face it, whether we like it or not, ads are everywhere. They've become an integral part of almost every aspect of our lives. They're on billboards and on the radio. They've gone from the small screen to the even smaller screens in our pockets. Believe it or not, I'm actually not against ads at all. As a filmmaker, I used to make a living working on the sets of commercials for brands like Nike, Adidas, Ricola, and like Mexican cleaning products. I even acted in this really hilarious and very strange spot for a Chinese tech company once. Don't ask me what it was for. To this day, I don't know what I was doing. Ads are the reason we live in the age of so many free products, right? Like Google, YouTube, Spotify. And that's amazing. I mean, ads make a lot of stuff possible. Of course, you can usually pay to not see ads, but most of us don't. I mean, ads feel harmless. They're only 5 seconds, right? What concerns me is their omnipresence. It feels like they're inescapable. Like, how many ads do we consume a day? This is gonna sound kind of melodramatic, but I kind of feel like they pollute our minds with distractions and temptations for stuff that we usually don't need. So in an attempt to see how soaked our world is in ads, I've decided to try to do 24 hours of ad block, like the Chrome extension, but in real life. And I want to treat this kind of like a video game. Let me explain. Now, obviously, I could just avoid these websites or just turn on my ad blocker and not leave my apartment. But what fun would that be? I live in Mexico City, and there's a world of things to see out there. So I've decided to give myself 3 challenges, like 3 levels in a video game, of increasing difficulty. Level 1. Get to a coffee shop without looking at or hearing a single ad. I've selected a coffee shop that's about 10 minutes away, and if I fail, I have to start back over at this apartment. Level 2. Go to a mall. And level 3, boss mode. I'm going to try going to El Centro Histórico, like the city center, which is just saturated with media and people and businesses and all kinds of stuff. I don't even know if it's possible if I can do this, but I'm gonna try. All right, there's no time to waste. Let's do this thing. So I think an important first step here is to identify the potential enemy. I've noticed a lot of ads on trucks and on buildings and of course billboards. So gotta be mindful not to look up and ruin this entire mission. Okay, I didn't look, but I'm pretty sure there are posters right here on the post. I'm not looking, but I think that counts as an ad. So we're gonna keep going. Okay, my first failure. That caught my eye, and that is definitely an ad. It's saying to save 80% of whatever money that they want from you. So I'm gonna have to start over. I hadn't even been walking for 3 minutes and I failed. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's an ad right there. That's another ad right there. They're really hard to avoid. See, bingo, there's another one. Alrighty, this is attempt number 2. Let's do this thing. I mean, come on, the cafe is only like 10 minutes away. This shouldn't be that hard. This is just about as far as I made it last time. So we're at the checkpoint. Eyes on the prize, people. We can't fail now. There are definitely a lot of ads over there. I feel like I saw some posters with the corner of my eye. We're not going in that direction. Okay, I'm almost there. I feel like I can taste victory. I'm just trying not to lift my eyes too much to be able to see any ads. Level 1 successfully complete. The coffee shop's right there. So I made it. I feel good. I'm feeling good about myself right now. Not gonna lie. I tried explaining to the people that worked there what I was trying to do, and I don't think they fully understood. I asked the guy next to me if he thought I could live a whole day ad-free.
Yo creo que sí, es imposible, mi carnal.
Es imposible. Level 2, let's do this thing. Okay, they gave me like a mall, basically, for my level 2 challenge. It's like over a mile away. That's an ad. They got me. 2 for like almost 20 pesos. God. All right, back to the cafe I go. Arranco de vuelta. At this point, I've got to take a moment to say something about this experiment. While I was at the coffee shop, a man walked in with a huge Levi's logo on his shirt. It dawned on me that there's free advertising everywhere, which most of us partake in voluntarily. And as I left the coffee shop and walked towards the mall that the barista sent me to, a sinking feeling began to appear in my stomach. The words of the guy that sat next to me in the coffee shop started to ring just a little too true.
Es imposible, mi carnal.
But I'm a storyteller, and I knew I was just scratching the surface.
This does not feel possible at all. You can't navigate. You can't look up and see where you're going, where you want to go. There's just ads everywhere. Right now, I'm in a very commercial area, and it's everywhere. I've seen like probably 100 ads out of the corner of my eyes. Does that count? I don't know. This is starting to feel like an impossible mission. For the sake of this video though, we're gonna say I completed level 2, and it's on to level 3. We're going to the center of town. Let's do this thing.
The history of advertising is long and complicated. Really, it's nothing new. It has evolved as we have, and with each new wave of technology, it has come to play a new role in our lives. Again, I've always disliked commercial breaks and interruptions, but at the same time, I don't hate them. I know why they exist and what they do. It's very likely your favorite podcast or YouTube channel is successfully running because of advertising or sponsorship-related deals. So, in a way, ads fund a lot of the things we take value from in our lives. There just doesn't seem to be a respite. This last part of the challenge really did not go as planned. Before I even arrived, I knew it was going to be impossible. Still, I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, wow, what a world we live in. Who knew everybody wanted my money so badly?
That's an ad right there.
There were a lot of people selling contacts, and one guy even smacked me as I walked by. As I darted through the crowds, I thought about all of the times I bought something I didn't need. I take responsibility for my actions. It was me who handed over the credit card after all. But boy, are there a lot of psychological games out there. And this is just me being melodramatic. Such a wannabe actor. I think we've seen enough here. That really was not what I was expecting, although I'm not sure what I was expecting. First of all, I want to share some advice if you're looking to reduce the amount of visual clutter that ads can sometimes present. I think a great place to start is by reducing notifications on your phone and on your computer. I make sure that Do Not Disturb is on for most of the day so that I don't get a lot of those spammy text messages or marketing emails. Of course, digital minimalism in general can be helpful, and I did a whole series on that, so consider checking that out. Consider installing and using an ad blocker, although I think it's important to recognize the implications that holds. It will save you a lot of time and maybe a little bit of money. And I always say that if you want to support an artist that you really like, there are always other ways to do so. More than anything though, I think my biggest piece of advice would be to be as intentional as possible with where and how you spend your time. I don't go to malls anymore because frankly I find them very overwhelming and it's just not a positive experience for me. And as you can maybe tell by the echo in this room, I've decided to take a really minimalist approach to my own bedroom because I find that that's a great way to reset from sometimes the saturation and the visual overload that exists out there. It might be an interesting experiment to pay attention to every single ad in your life for an entire day or an entire week and see what happens, see where that takes you. I want to finish this piece by saying that I decided to turn off ads for this video because I feel like it would be contradictory to the message and I don't want to be a hypocrite. I do have ads turned on for my other videos because I'm trying really hard to make a living doing this, telling stories and creating videos. I may have sponsors down the road, but I can promise you it will always be for products or companies that I like, that I believe in. However, there are no sponsors yet, and the best way to support this project, support this channel, is to check out my Patreon page where I offer exclusive content, stuff like behind the scenes or bonus episodes. Truly, any contribution makes a huge difference because the reality is that AdSense doesn't pay super great. I make something like $3 to $4 on average per video that I post on here. That's enough for some delicious taquitos here in Mexico, but it's not quite enough to make a living. Now, of course, there is no obligation, and I'm more than happy to share my stuff for free online. I think that's the beauty of the internet. If you're just interested in following along, you can sign up to my newsletter or follow me on Instagram. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It definitely pushed my boundaries. Believe it or not, I'm not much of a vlogger, so filming out in public still makes me kind of uncomfortable. especially being like, you know, like an English speaker, an American here in Mexico. I hate to perpetuate those stereotypes, but it is what it is. Alrighty, I'll see you soon.